Can you hear me now? Let me know. I'm sorry, Jen B. I'm sorry, everybody. How about now? Oh, yeah, I see the difference. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that one was dying immediately. Okay. Let's hope this one is charged enough. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I had a happy Friday picture up, but nobody was sticking around. Maybe they thought I wasn't going to talk about scammers. But y'all know when I go live, oh, I will give an update on the baby when more people are in. I'll give an update. It's a good update, though. Just know that. She is no longer hospitalized. But I got some cute stuff to show you where the baby is concerned. She's no longer hospitalized. She was, what do you call it? She was put in an isolation area because she was positive for COVID, and they kept her for a little bit, but she's doing great now. Okay, so Mr. Timothy Nash, true knowledge. The man who claimed he had no medical, he had no money, he had cancer, and the only way his medical got paid for was because of a grant that paid for his doctors and hospital visits, but wouldn't cover his medications. You took off from Pennsylvania claiming you had a job and you got abandoned, even though your girlfriend slash fiance slash former landlord is still with you. So y'all both got stranded? But you were on here saying you have no money, no work, no food stamps, no medical because you don't have a city ID. And remember when we talked about the ID? And I think Tennessee is where he is. It was a couple of dollars. It was a couple of dollars. It wasn't expensive. And if you can ask for money for everything else, and you know that the only thing stopping you from getting services is getting an ID, what's the problem? Because dig here, the people, and let's not forget about the fact that he's still in the same place he has been for weeks, even though he claimed they were kicking him out, that they were selling the little van, not van, cab thing he was in. But he's still there. My thing is this: if somebody was staying near me within my property, and you could go get food stamps, which would not only help you but help my household, I'm not giving you a ride so you can go get the proper ID so then you can go to the um, Department of Social Services office and get medical and food stamps? While people do things out of the kindness of their heart, at some point they want something out of it. And if it's not going to be straight cash, because we know his money is running, his train is leaving the station. Anything you could provide is better than nothing, right? Anything you could provide is better than nothing. So how are you now? And I think it would be 5 months now that he said he was upgraded to stage 4 cancer. That's what I said. Cheer wine. How do you look better now than you did then? Somebody make sense of that for me. Can somebody make sense of that for me? Then people asked him how he was doing, and he claims that he's doing great. Just a couple weeks ago during your birthday, you said you didn't expect to see the next one, but now you're doing great. Pick a lane, sir. Pick a lane. Now we know he went over to, what app did he go over to? Was it Clapper or Favorited when his account got nannered? So did he suddenly get a bunch of money over there? By the way, guys, I lied. I still don't know where I'm going because I keep hearing they're going to save TikTok. It got a reprieve for 200 and something days. Then I'm watching the news this morning and they're saying it's still the 19th and that the Supreme Court is coming out with a ruling today. He is back. He got his account back. That's why you haven't seen him. He went over to Favorited or Clapper or some other app. Yeah, 2 days. I still don't know where I'm going. But just because there's going to be a ban, TikTok is not going to go dark in 2 days. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. I appreciate when you guys do the likes because it lets everybody know that we're here and it prevents their trolls from getting us taken down. I don't care about the number. I just care about the consistency. So all that I ask is that you like the live, fill the heart's tail, and then take a break. But I saw somebody the other day had over 100,000 likes with 200 people in the live. And I'm like, dang, either somebody's in love or you have people who don't take their finger off the button. My goodness. But now he has this cute thing where he says, hold on while he gets a glass of apple juice. Who thinks that apple juice is what's in his pocket? I mean, in his cup. He's smoking trees, but always claims that it's a gift from somebody. Of course, it's booze. Of course, it's booze. But he wants to play with everybody and use words like apple juice and oh, somebody gave me such and such. It's never him. He needs to stay pathetic to continue getting cash. Because if people found out that he had food stamps, why do you need money for food? If people found out that you have medical, why do you need money for medication? Mind you, I haven't heard him mention any of that. None of it. Maybe food. But where's your seizure medication, sir? Good morning. Where's your seizure medication? That's not something you just up and stop. Your body usually has huge reactions to not having the medication. Furthermore, you want me to believe that you've been to the hospital there 3 or 4 times in the last couple of months and you haven't had a social worker help you? Now, granted, not everywhere is not in every place, especially if you're like in a little hick town, do they have a lot of social workers standing by. But the hospital wants to get paid, right? Right, exactly, Commander. The hospital wants to get paid for those visits. The best way for them to ensure that that happens is to have somebody, some link, some connection to services that will help them get paid. They're not helping you get services for your benefits. No, they're doing it to get paid. And someone who has stage 4 cancer, who's going to need ongoing care of some kind. And let's be clear, hospital emergency rooms are supposed to be utilized for emergency care, not ongoing care. It costs sometimes 10 times the amount it would cost for you to see a doctor regularly, to show up in the emergency room. But you want to know why he does it? Because it's a money grab. Remember when I was like, how come he don't go live? And everybody was like, oh, it's a HIPAA violation. And we raised the consciousness and we realized it's not a HIPAA violation. Now he starts going live from the ER. Why you keep going to the ER? Now, the picture I'm about to show you is a trigger warning. Okay? It's a trigger warning. It's a trigger warning. It's a trigger warning. Let me put out several caveats. A, not all cancers are visible. When you have blood cancer, can't nobody see it. 2, the cancer that this gentleman has is not the same cancer as the one True Knowledge says he had. I am not comparing apples to apples, okay? Let's be clear about that. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. But this is on TikTok. This is someone's account on TikTok. Okay? Again, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Not all. Oh. This gentleman has cancer. And he has sinonasal adenoid cystic carcinoma. Nothing even close to what Timothy Nash says that he has. But he has an account on here because he wants people to be aware. He talks about how it started as a little bump on his nose. And it's funny because I know I have a pimple coming on my nose because I can feel it, but it made me paranoid. It started with a little bump on under his nose, like inside. He noticed it, thought it was like a pimple, just something going on. He was able to ignore it. Eventually it got bigger. He went to the doctor. They told him they didn't think it was a big deal, but it kept growing. And it got to the point where it was actually visible. Now I don't remember at what point he says he went and got diagnosed. But as you can see, it has continued to grow. It has altered what his face looks like. It has gone in to his eye socket so that he wears a patch. I don't know if he's lost his eye or not. I pray he gets better too. He talks about every step of the way. He talks about what his cancer is. Now, again, his cancer is visible, it is obvious, so we can see what it is. The cancer that Timothy Nash says he has is so complicated. I haven't bothered to write it down and do any research, okay? Let's be clear. But when this gentleman talks about his cancer diagnosis, he gives you step A to step Z. He walks you through what happened, how it happened, what care he's receiving. The only thing Timothy Nash says is I have such and such carcinoma. No, not does he? No, it's not carcinoma. It's whatever he says. He talks about how he had cancer. I think when he got out of jail, he went into remission and then it came back. We don't know nothing about how it affects him. We know nothing about the steps. All of a sudden, to me, he had always said it was stage 4, and then all of a sudden it was stage 4 5 months ago, 6 months ago. How did they diagnose that? How are you seeing all of these doctors and getting all of this stuff, but you don't have medical insurance? A grant? And at stage 4, you not only will qualify for Medicaid, but you would qualify for disability as well. Even if it's just SSI, which is $900 a month. But yet and still, even when none of it makes sense, he has mods and enablers. White Sox, please let's not start this morning, buddy. You don't have to be over here. It's a whole bed, buddy. You don't have to be right here. White Sox says good morning. Nikki Lynn, he claims he has absolutely nothing. He claims he has no medical, no food stamps, no disability, nothing. And of course, he claims that because he's left Pennsylvania and he only has a Pennsylvania ID, that he can't get anything. But I have never heard him ask for money for the ID. All I hear about is how far away he is from services. But I'm going to let this gentleman go. I just wanted to do a apples to oranges comparison of how different this gentleman addresses his cancer diagnosis with the way Timothy Nash does. I'm not saying they have the same cancer. I'm not saying that all cancers are visible. Okay? I'm not saying that. All I was saying, and using a very dramatic set of circumstances to talk about the difference between what someone who I feel legitimately has it and someone who doesn't. Hold on, guys. Okay. Let's go back to who we're talking about. Where did we go? Oh, here he is. This is who we're discussing. Timothy Nash. And for anybody that's been following him for any length of time, how do you look better now without any services than you did in Pennsylvania? Somebody want to explain that to me? He is a very quick blocker. He has people, mods, that if you ask for any detail in what he says, they will mute and block you. Now, even I give Lisa credit. It takes a little bit to get blocked from her now, partly because she can't keep a mod to save her life. But most of the time, what is said goes right by. Why do all of these scammers struggle with people telling the truth, explaining what everybody else knows that maybe the new people in the chat don't know? Why do you have a problem with that? Because you only want your lie to stick. That is why there's an awareness community. Because you won't allow insightful questions that may expose you for who you really are, proof about what has been done and said in the past. And then you try to cover your tracks. So I say you claim you've been in the hospital, but we've never seen you in the hospital. Next thing you know, he's in the hospital, going live, still begging. He tries to flip the fact that he looks better now by saying that people told him to get off of all the medications and he did, and that's why he's better. You got off of a medication. It just wasn't a prescribed one, sir. That's why you look better. And you're not getting the assistance you used to, and B, you're in a new environment. You aren't exactly sure who to get that prescription from. You don't have access to any street dealers out in the boondocks. Street pharmacists, we'll call them. So I said when people got in here, I'd give you guys an update about baby. Let me see. This is baby. Good morning. She is home. She does have COVID, but I think the two things that were wrong when they did the ultrasound, she was full of gas and she was also extremely dehydrated. So they kept her in the hospital for a little bit and then released her. Let me show one more. There her is in her bumblebee outfit. Baby is doing very well. Hold on, I have a video. I'm gonna try to play it from my iPad so you guys can see it. Because it was one of the most adorable things I have ever seen. Remember, y'all, she's turning 1 in a couple of days. Okay, let's hold on. Pause. Okay, first we gotta turn on the sound. Bear with me, guys. Okay, you guys can see it, right? Can you guys see it? Let's take it back to the beginning. How can we take it back to the beginning? Okay.
Are you excited to go home? Yeah? Yeah, because we're going home today. We're going home today. You get to be back in your own bed. Yeah. 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 We're going home.
Kira.
You're so excited.
With her 2 little teeth. Oh yeah, Kira.
Are you excited to go home?
So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was absolutely adorable. Okay, that's my baby girl. So she's doing well. Back to her old self. Okay. I have a couple raising the consciousness. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you for your prayers, your concern. I appreciate it. It definitely made me feel better. I let her mother know every once in a while she comes in the live. So she knows some of you, or she knows your names, I should say. And she was very appreciative of the kind words and the thoughts. So I have 2 raising the consciousness. Okay. Let's see which one I'm going to talk about first. Now I'm going to read this because I know it might be difficult. But you know how I always say awareness versus awareness is craziness? So this says awareness groups can fall apart due to a variety of reasons, including a lack of clear goals beyond raising awareness, internal conflicts, poor leadership, burnout among members, lack of sustainable action plans, changing priorities within the community, a failure to engage diverse perspectives, and a lack of measurable impact. which can lead to discouragement and a feeling that the group isn't making a real difference. Now, I say to y'all all the time, awareness wins. We just have to remain patient and consistent. The goal has to be awareness. It can't be popularity. It can't be likes. It can't be about follows. It can't be about getting your own gifts. It can't be about exploiting your own lifestyle. If you're going to be a member of awareness, then that has to be your focus. Otherwise, don't say that's what you're about. But then within the group structure, you need clarity. You need honesty. I'm not saying you have to have a purity clause where everybody has to um be perfect, cuz y'all know I mess up every single time I go live. I have a humility about my abilities. I can only do what I can do. And I can only know what I know when I know it. And I recognize that I don't know everything. It is a community effort. But when people start to think they're bigger than the community, when people start to find fault in what everybody else does as a way of cornering the market, you lose. And so does the community. When you're bullying other members of the community, when you are copycatting members of the community, which irks the crap out of me. I recognize that it's a community. I recognize that some of what I know is based on the research that what some other people have done. But I don't get here after listening to All for One's live or Mexican Homies live or anybody else's live and just regurgitate what I heard. That irks my nerves. And it's happened to me multiple times. And now people who were all about Lisa and they got caught up in that Lisa, Ronnie, Nicole BS. Now they want to talk about other scammers. Now they want to talk about Kim Peters and Lori. Yep, I'm calling them out. You lost credibility. Y'all sit on TikTok as longer than the scammers do. For what? Don't say you're a part of the awareness community then. Don't say it. I can't stand people who just regurgitate what they heard in other lives. It pisses me off. Okay, part two to this. Come on. How do you prevent a community from falling apart? You establish clear goals and action plans. You define specific, measurable goals beyond just raising awareness and develop actionable steps to achieve them. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I tell y'all all the time, for anybody who is serious about it, who comes live and talks about it, doesn't wake up on the morning of and have everything they need to say. When anybody does that, they're not really doing it. It's work involved. It's time. And it's crazy because like I didn't go live on Wednesday. So let me reveal a little secret. Yes, they do. My honey's days off are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's technically our weekend. So Tuesday night is our what I call our Friday night, Wednesday is our Saturday, Thursday is our Sunday. So sometimes Wednesday morning is my Saturday morning from my Friday night. But guess what happens when he's here and there's a scam around? I'm watching the scammer and taking notes. And be like, I don't know how you can sit there and do that all day. Sure do. Sure do. I don't get to wake up on the morning of and be like, I wonder what everybody was doing. Let me just get on here and say any damn thing and hope that the chat makes it so. Let me get on here with 13 other people and hope that they're able to talk about the people so I don't have to have anything to say. No. Monday, granddaughter's in the emergency room. I could have sat here and been stressed out. And I was. I'm going to be honest. I was stressed when they told me she was positive for COVID because the day before the diagnosis was a stomach virus. But what's pacing up and down going to do? Nothing. I had already spent the weekend watching lives. I have a goal. I tell you all the time, I'll go away when they go away. I have actionable steps. I'm an independent. I'm not loyal to anybody. I'm loyal to my goals. Thank you. I'm loyal to my goals. Oh, Scotty's wife, it's okay. She's doing very well and she's happy. Good morning, Jojo. So when we see, and let me be clear, it's not just awareness groups that are collapsing. I don't know much about AFF. They did some great work, but it seems like in the last month or so they are imploding. And they've done great things on this app in terms of calling people out for their disgusting behavior. But then the next thing you know, you see people talking about how they are imploding. And it's like, why? Why do groups have to implode? Okay, off of that subject, let's talk about one of my favorites. Let's see, where is she at? Because y'all know she gets on my nerves and I can't sing worth a damn. Thank you for liking the guys live, liking the live, guys. Do me a favor, like the live. When you click it a few times, the heart comes up, then the tail, fill the tail. It's about 100 clicks, and then take a break. Who doesn't Kim annoy? But something, okay, so we all know that she claims to be meeting men on dating apps. Oh, Brie and Tyre live, they get on my last nerve. I shouldn't say they, he gets on my last nerve. He's so pompous and so overconfident, and then in the same breath he can't do anything. Kiki. Facts. Well, though, what she did do when people brought up what was happening in California, she actually had her mods block the words California fire in LA. That is how disgusting of a person she is. Again, similar to the awareness community, why can't a subject be about something else? It has to stay focused on Kim. But I was watching a live. Okay, wait, so let's go back. So she's meeting men on dating apps, she claims, and sleeping with them right away. So much so, she met a man, she got ready because she thought he was coming over. Mind you, be embarrassed to have a man in that house, but that's just me. He calls her up and decides to pick her up and bring her to his house. And she went. Girl, you don't watch Lifetime movies? You ain't seen First 48? Like, what? Now, granted, most fluffy women are not getting kidnapped and held in the basement. Let's be honest. But just safety, ma'am. Now, mind you, she went from needing $300 to not get evicted to needing $60 for her cell phone. Or 70. It was like 77 or something like that for her cell phone. Oh no, the way she took a shower and got herself together, no, that was true. That's true. That's true. I ain't never seen her get ready that fast for nothing else. That was true. And she didn't come back on that night either. But when the night was over and she was back home, what was she doing? Begging again for her cell phone. Now, she could be lying about whether or not that she needed money for that. Because, ma'am, what are you spending your $900 on? I have a budget. I know what all of my bills are, down to my recurring, like Netflix, down to the penny. My cell phone bill went up $10 for some reason. You think I wasn't in the app trying to figure out where that came from? To the penny. So you mean to tell me when you get your $900, you don't know that you have a $300 rent bill or a $100 rent bill, whatever it is? You don't remember you have a cell phone bill? It's like when Tracy came on initially and asked for $700 for her car insurance and said she forgot. You get in that box every day to go to work and you forgot you needed to pay for the insurance? Stop acting dumb. But she needs $77 to pay a cell phone bill. Why? When you went and stayed in that hotel casino, you didn't have bills to pay? Or did you think it was the responsibility of your followers to pay it? Y'all want to see me go live, then y'all better make sure that my phone is turned on. The audacity. Mind you, there is no content given. We watch you eat 55 times a day. We watch you watch television. We watch you make a fool of yourself with a doll baby because you want to show off the car seat that you got that is absolutely ridiculous. A, you don't have a car to put it in. B, the baby isn't real. And third, that car seat could have went to a mother that actually needed it. Actually needed it. But Kim is so self-absorbed. She doesn't care what she takes away from anybody else. She doesn't care if you sent her your last $5. And as an example, Carol Edwards got all that money for all those months, told people that she would pay them back when she got her disability, and now she's singing another tune. Now it's, why do I got to pay people back who gave me money? They gave it willingly. I didn't make anybody give me money. You think they're not all behind the scenes for people who have given them money in the past? Good morning. Oh, thank you for the gift. Y'all know what I do with the gifts. If I'm in a live of somebody doing the good work, I give them gifts. But there's no entertainment value, right? So it's literally just begging. Okay, so even if it's the $77 for her cell phone and people are like, well, she's telling you what she's asking for. Why does she need my money when she's at a hotel? When she's buying presents for a mysterious woman with kids, and then she's wearing the very present she says she bought for the mother and kids. I told y'all from the gate she was the mother and kids she was talking about. Oh my goodness, that night. Wait, that night was bad enough. The next day, people were like, well, how did last night go? And she's like, oh my God, I rode the horse. My left leg is numb. My left foot is crooked. My right leg, I can't feel. My back. I mean, you couldn't say you just had a nice time. You couldn't just say you had a nice time. It's like the day before when she talked about, oh, I'm gonna be riding that horse and moving her jaw around, talking about, let me get it ready. Okay, it's ready. It's disgusting. Her, like, her farting, her burping, her going to the bathroom on live is bad enough. It's bad enough. But you mean to tell me you have to be that explicit? Mind you, she doesn't know who's in her live. She doesn't have a 21 and over banner on her live. But you're showing other young ladies who might be in your life that this is the way to act. And let me be clear about something. It has nothing to do with her size. Nothing. You're just a vile human being. You're disgusting. I will, she could stop begging and I would still not like her. She is so self-absorbed. It is all about her all the time. And when people aren't talking in her life, she's mad. But when you tell her the truth, she don't want to see that neither. When you're not liking her life, she's mad. When you're not gifting her, she's mad. So she gets off. Every live? You expect to be on the receiving end every live. You can't come on once in a while and just be entertaining. Watching you eat isn't entertaining. Watching you watch movies and TV isn't entertaining. Watching you on your computer faking. Let me just tell y'all something about LinkedIn. Because now she claims again that she's looking for a job. Another money grab. But LinkedIn is full of scammers too. And so she fills out an application, claims to, and it's like, I already got a reply. That's what I'm talking about. Boo boo, LinkedIn is full of scammers too. I was on there and I happened to see a job that I was interested in. The moment I told LinkedIn that my resume could like be open, I got 5 or 6 messages, all from very pretty younger white women. But then I looked at the message and the telephone number, and it's a WhatsApp number. Scam. Ah. And they all said very similar things. Not for the same job, but they all said very similar things. Scam. So the fact that you got a response right away doesn't mean that it was a legitimate job if you filled anything out at all. But she does that so that she could say, the haters say that I don't do anything and I am looking for a job. You're looking for a job because you know you are on the cusp of losing those benefits because you lie. Let me say something about food stamps and medical. Same form, okay? You don't got to fill out different forms. Same form. Because they're able to use the information from it to determine what you qualify for. One form. And on that form, you don't have to just label or I'm sorry, indicate if you have income from a job. They ask multiple questions to get to, hold on, to get to where your money is coming from. So they obviously ask if you have a job. They ask if you get Social Security. They ask if you get a pension. They ask if you have an inheritance. They even ask if you have a death benefit. If you have not life insurance, but like some people buy their funeral plans in advance. They want to know that. Then they ask, do you get child support? Do you get funds from any other means? They didn't say a paycheck. They didn't say donations don't count. Money from any other means. Then, in another section, they ask if any of your bills are paid by anybody else. So when they sit there and pretend like they don't understand what's happening, you filled out the form and signed it, boo. You agreed to update the state on any changes. Good morning. Now, I want to show somebody else for a second because I have another raising the consciousness. Hold on. Oh, I don't have her? That's weird. Let me look. Let me look. Let me look. Let me look. Okay, I'll just show her picture here briefly. The two of them often eat on camera. And a lot of people don't understand why. It doesn't make sense. Let's talk about it. I think this is why. Feeder feedy relationships. What this is, I believe that they get money from feeders, or they're trying to get money from feeders. Regular feederism is often described as an occurrence within an intimate relationship where sexual desire is expressed or maintained through acts of encouragement and validation related to the consumption of food, force feeding, or applauding a partner's attempt to gain weight. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Kira, ma'am, sorry, y'all. White Sox, you're doing just fine. You're doing just fine, buddy. Correct. It's a whole side of TikTok. And so I don't think that their eating is for their own enjoyment solely. I think they know that there are feeders on here who will continue to give them money to watch them eat. And while it's not an intimate partnership, we talked weeks ago about parasocial relationships where people feel like if I see you on live every day, I know all about your life, then we're friends. We know each other very well. We talk offline. But the relationship is really one sided because you're the one putting in all the effort. Do you think feeders don't do the same thing? If they don't have someone within their life, some of them do, but even if they do, some of them don't. And therefore they use these parasocial relationships to fill their desire. And their desire is to watch somebody eat and get bigger and bigger and bigger. There was actually somebody on 600 Pound Life that's how she paid for her life. She would get massive amounts of food. People would send her money because they wanted her to eat a cake. Do you guys ever notice like the people who do eat, they do like mukbangs and stuff? I have a hard time watching them because they fill their mouth to the brim. And they're so close to the microphone or the camera, people actually get off on listening to the ASMR of someone eating food. It doesn't even have to be a lot. It doesn't even have to be a mukbang, but it's just watching you shove your mouth full of food. Like people literally make money on TikTok eating food. What? But for people like Tracy and Kim, there's the added feederism to it. There are people who are attracted to larger women, but it's not just the fact that they're large, they're feeders. You know, 1,000 Pound Sisters, the younger one who was heavier, the boyfriend she had on the show were feeders. One even said that he doesn't want her to get below 300 pounds. What? When I tell you, if you can think of it, it's already out there. I think the first time I saw it was on that show, Strange Addiction. I think. And on the 600 Pound Life episode, they didn't label it feederism. I think they kind of tried to play on the cam girl side of it, but it was feederism. She was getting paid to eat on camera. Now, there's a difference between a gainer and a feedie. The term gainer has connotations of power that the term feeder does not. It is generally associated with someone who is gaining weight because it makes them happy rather than to please some outside force or to please a partner. A gainer is not by definition submissive or objectified, a common concern among feeders. Could they be gainers? Could they be gainers who are taking advantage of the fact that there are feeders on TikTok? Because they're not doing it in any sort of a submissive way, especially not Kim. And even Tracy is like, you want to see me eat something? Pay for it. You don't hear either one discussing getting healthy. Kim does every, I mean, not Kim, Tracy does every once in a while, but she only does it in the sense of, you want me to lose weight, pay for the gym and put gas in my car. You want me, she got the trampoline and hasn't used it. Hasn't used it. So, okay, enough raising the consciousness. But y'all know I like to talk about what's behind it all. We might as well talk about them since they go live. Oh, bad background. I'm sorry. I'll drop this. I only want to say this. Sorry, Kira found the fish that that flaps back and forth, and so all they have to do is touch it, and it flaps back and forth. Thank you. Oh, so jump scare. I wish their train would move on. Yeah, Petty Bell. Yeah, I almost thought you said Petty LaBelle. That would have been a great name. He is entitled. He is a narcissist, and I have never said that on any live about anybody. He is a narcissist. The both of them, while they are adults, they are clearly immature. They clearly don't have their head together. I know that her family has said if she breaks up with him, she could come back. And it's not because he's black. I am not sure, but would his family welcome him back? Or has he burnt enough bridges that they're like, you're an adult, you're on your own? But my question is this: both of them have family. Why are strangers paying for their hotel room every day? Every day. But they both have families in their lives. And he talks about his girl being cold and how they don't want to be outside, but won't spend his disability check to cover it. Somebody make that make sense. If he gets enough money and he goes over the amount allowed, they force you to pay it back. His mom is part of the scam. Not, I mean, let's be clear. We could all make money off this TikTok thing. No, because what he has said is that he's saving the money for the apartment. Then he said he uses it to buy food and the other things that they need. I don't think he's always using his own Cash App. I think he uses his mod's Cash App. What is his disability? He's had disability since he was a child. So maybe ADHD, maybe autism, stuff like that. So he has, it's funny because a lot of children who have the label work very hard to try to fit into what you would quote normal society. Then you have other people who lean into it so far that they make a fool out of themselves. And that's him. His mom was given money to help care for him as a child and to get him any extra services he might have needed. He's not stupid. He's not slow. He doesn't have a mental deficiency. But instead of saying, okay, I was given this handout hand up. I'm not gonna call it. I was given this hand up. Let me make the best of it. He utilizes it to say he can't do any more that he's doing. Except, and if any of y'all are here, y'all know he writes his own music, he records his own music, he mixes his own music, he masters his own music, and he promotes his own music. In the record industry, that's 5 different jobs. 5 different jobs. If you can do that, people get paid to write music. I mean, his music is horrible, let's be honest. But people pay people to write their music. You have the skills of a musical engineer that you can mix and master your own music, but you have no ability because your social security check says so. Being on social security doesn't mean you cannot work. It means that the amount you can earn is capped. But this is the other thing. Let's say you work and you earn more than the cap. They just reduce the amount in your social security check. That's it. That's all. And if you earn enough, then you no longer need the social security. But he has grown women with children breaking their necks in his marathon lives to A, make sure the truth isn't told, B, mute and block anybody who isn't kissing his ass. Grown women. What, do y'all need a hug? Because why are you so invested in these people's lives? But then get upset with us and A, say we're getting clout off of them, we're making money on them, we don't have lives. Do you? Do you? Let me go to another one. Oh, please tell me I have her. Why don't have her? Guess I have to have a photo of her. Hold on. Let's go up a little bit. Oh, okay. I don't have her in a little circle. I apologize. So the other day, she was in the car. Let me say this. I hate the way she treats her daughter. Now, couple things. She says her and her kids, but I never see the second kid. I don't know where the second kid is. I don't know who has the second kid. I don't know how old the second kid is. I only see her with the little girl. That's first of all. Hold on. Here we go. Mexican homie has a folder. I have a notebook. She claims she's a mobile lash tech. Do you know how much people mobile lash techs pay? She showed her Cash App QR code. So all you got to do is scan it and you can send her money. She thinks that that's pretty cool, but she still hasn't gotten any help. She says she's been struggling to get help on here for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Is your train moving on? Have you gotten all the money you can get? I think the way she treats her daughter has turned some people off. This is bountiful Erica, prayerful Erica, the rebuke you in the name of Jesus Erica, who claims that she would be so much worse if she hadn't found God. Tell me in the Bible where it says that you could be a beggar for your life. Or did I read a scripture several months ago now that says if you don't work, you don't eat? Oh, her son is with his dad. Okay. Now, she was upset that other people on live get money and she doesn't. Then find something else. When it stops working, find something else. So now she's really pissed off because her food stamps got cut. Now listen to this unbelievable story. She was in the middle of her redetermination, and somebody somewhere that the Department of Social Services could not explain cut her off. And she claimed that based on the letters she received, you're homeless, where'd you get letters? But on the letters that she received, she could have got an email or she could have logged into her account and seen them. But okay, bear with me, yo. That based on those letters, she could tell that it was because of TikTok. What could the letters from the state say that would make you sure it was TikTok? Or did you say it was TikTok so that you could get sympathy? That she calls all for one, all for none. That he's not really a help, he's a troll. That he's a convict, so how can he say anything to anybody? But someone at DSS canceled your food stamps, but your worker can't identify why. The lies. And you want to know how I know that's the lie? Because every time you get denied, they give you a reason. And I just went over with you guys all of the questions that those applications asked to get to the bottom line. It is a donation when someone, I don't know, there's a way to do it and be homeless. But if somebody can't, over the course of time, I don't mean each individual time, but if you're claiming that all of these are donations, people should be able to file it off their taxes. But it's not donations, it's gifts. And what you earn on TikTok, you have to report to the IRS. But in her mind, it's gifts. I don't have to tell anybody. Who's Alexis? Wait, White Sox. Okay, thank you. How are you mad that the state has decided to question all of this money you've gotten? And you're mad at TikTok? How long have we been saying, you know, this might catch up to you? You know, this might catch up to you. But no, we didn't know what we were talking about. We need to mind our business. Right. The application is explicit. Now, this is my other thing. People are always like, she's homeschooling her daughter. How you homeschooling somebody from the back seat? Like, ma'am. But let me just tell you why she's doing that. Because if I'm homeschooling my daughter, I can't get a job. Your daughter needs more interaction than watching you on TikTok begging all day. She asked to go play, and you're like, no, you're doing this. Then her daughter was using an app that taught her, I think it was French. It wasn't what she had assigned her daughter to do, but it was what her daughter was doing. Now, let me tell you what's crazy. Her daughter at one point asks her, can you read this? And it must have been a sentence in French. And she's like, what are you doing in here? What are you doing in this app? We in the audience could hear her daughter using the app, and it kept saying the same words. It was like, can I get a coffee? Over and over and over again. You weren't listening? You didn't realize she was in an app that was teaching her French? And then you had a nerve to say to her, learn English first. Ma'am, if she's going to learn another language, now is the time. Her brain is still absorbing. But you're so stupid, you don't even realize it. But you're mother of the year. But you're mother of the year. Why is TikTok telling me to take a break? They're like, good, you've gone 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break. TikTok, please have a seat. She needs to learn what an application is. Facts! This is the thing. She has the label that she's a mobile lash tech. I have never heard her report that. Promote it, I mean. Never, not once have I heard her say two words about being a mobile lash tech, but that's what she has in her bio. So then it looks like the little girl deleted the app that she was using. When I tell you her daughter is beautiful and smart, I love it. And let me be clear, she's smart despite her, not because of her. She gets mad when her daughter wants to get in the camera, but she's just emulating you. Your face is always in a camera. You are showing her what's important in life. And education isn't it, because you clearly don't have any. But you want this little girl's life to be the backseat of a car, and you want her to be there because that's what you grift off of. Me and my daughter can't be in the car. The car is so messed up. It can't get us from point A to point B. Somebody said to her, like, girl, why you ain't at the DSS office? It's too far away. My car won't get there. You ask for everything else. So why don't you ask for the gas to get to DSS? Because you know why. You know why you got removed. And she's like, now I need housing and food. I'm sorry that the food stamps caught up to you as your train was leaving the system. I mean, the station. What am I talking about? The train is leaving the station. And so now you're not getting as many gifts, just as the food stamp office catches up with your ass. There's another woman, and I don't know if this story is true. She claims she brought soda on her food stamps, tumped out the money to get the 10 or 25 cents off the can. You're not making no money doing that. But if you got caught doing that, food stamps is gonna take your food stamps away for sure. But I think she made up that whole story to say why she lost her food stamps because she don't want to be honest and say I lost them because of my shenanigans on TikTok. And let me just interrupt. This is my break. I want to say a couple of things. Every day I am praying for the people of California. I have friends, those that I actually consider family. They have not been impacted in the way that so many others around them have been, but my heart bleeds. There's going to be an aid concert, I think January the 30th. A lot of singers and stuff are participating. If you give a kitty watch, stop giving money to TikTok and give to people who are suffering. Now, let's be clear. A lot of famous, very wealthy people have suffered and they don't need your money. But there are thousands of others who aren't famous and rich and wealthy that could use your assistance. Part one. Part two, there were several major announcements about a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, and there's plans to release hostages. I pray that all the hostages get released. I don't know why we're doing this 2, 3, 4 step process, but whatever it takes. And I hope the bombing stops in Gaza, because there are too many innocent women, children, elderly, and men who have nothing to do with the terrorist organization suffering because of the terrorist organization. Those are people facing real problems. So I pray for all of it to happen. I don't care whose administration did it. I don't care who takes credit. I just want it done. It's gone on for too long. All right. That's my break. Right. And he said, I don't care whose administration does it, who takes the credit for it. Just get it done. I don't care. I don't care. Just get it done. Back to this one. At one point, her little girl said to her, can we go get something to eat now? And her response to her daughter pissed me off. She said it with an attitude. She was like, no, not yet. Is it her fault? People haven't given any money. Now, I don't know if that was her daughter genuinely being hungry or whether she set her daughter up to say it so that people in the chat would feel bad. Not sure. But either way, your response to your daughter is deplorable. She, A, didn't ask to be here, and B, didn't put you in the situation you are in. So why is it her fault? Why does she deserve the attitude? Ma'am, put her in school and get a job. You get to be a stay-at-home mom that homeschools your kid when you can afford to do so. Not when you are living in a car, hotel to hotel, on the reliance of people you beg on TikTok. But I get to be a stay-at-home mom that homeschools my daughter. But I don't have 2 pennies to rub together, nor a pot to piss in. Get a job. Your daughter is old enough that if something bad were to happen to her at school, that little girl is bright and forward. She'd come home and say, Mommy, such and such did such and such. I didn't like such and such. She's not incapable of speaking. But I told you, and I tried to take a picture, but I got distracted. There's a woman on here that has 3 children that are all nonverbal, all in wheelchairs, that go to school every day. She gets up early, like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, because she has to get them up, dress them, feed them, and get them out the door on time every day. I'm sure she does it because it gives her a break. But she does it for their well-being. You think she doesn't want to sleep in and get the kids up a little bit later? Of course she does. She does it by her husband is out working. She does it by herself every day. But you feel privileged that you should be able to be a stay-at-home mom like everybody else. Well, girl, get yourself in a financial position to do that. Put your daughter in school and go get a part-time job. Show people that you don't want to just rely on their dime. Because this is the thing. Unless you have wealth, unless you earn more than your expenses, all of them, vacations, new cars every year, the latest technology, it's hard out here. Even people who are wealthy. I remember when Cardi B said that she saw the jump in the cost of food. And she's not even the one shopping, but she checks her financials every month. And was like, what's going on with food? That's someone who doesn't have a care in the world about how much money they spend. And she noticed it. So what do you think it is for the rest of us? But you want to keep coming on here and begging people for their money? And my thing is this. Yes, it is your money. You are free to do whatever you want with your money. Okay? But these people aren't looking for a hand up. They're looking for a hand out. They never progress. How many of them have you seen go from begging to stability? I've only seen one. I've only seen one. And she was open to all the questions, all the suggestions, even some of the criticism. She didn't block and mute people, she took it. Because she was looking to get out of the current situation, and now she's in a better one. And she's no longer asking for assistance. I have only seen it once. How many months have you been doing this? Over and over and over. I'd be tired of it. Then you have Miss Adrielle. I don't even have her picture up. All upset the other day because she hadn't gotten her checks. And she was crying about how much food is and blah, blah, blah. I thought you told us that you were rich and famous. Why are you crying about one check? Or two or three? People were like, you haven't saved a dime of money? And when I tell you panicking about this TikTok ban, she's now going live on Favorited and TikTok at the same time to make sure that she can keep her audience. And why does she want to do Favorited? Because you can battle on Favorited. I don't care. This is what's funny. Wealthy people are not on TikTok giving gifts. They are not on TikTok giving gifts. So we're talking about regular people that have bills of their own to pay. And you're seeing to it that she gets $20,000 a month? If not more? Mind you, splitting all of them gifts that you give her with TikTok. I think she's probably now on a 60-40 split. She gets 60, TikTok gets 40. So she's not even getting all of the gifts that you spend money on. What does she do? What content does she provide that she deserves all of that money? And let's be clear, it's not just her. It's a lot of them. But I think she gets so much hate because of her attitude. And she claims that all of her blessings came from going vegan. Girl, go have a seat. I want to talk about two other people that I've never talked about. Oh, no, that's a lie. I have talked about them. That's a lie. Where is it? Oh, no. I thought I saved that photo. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Let's see if it's there. If it's not, I will just talk about them anyway. Hold on, let me close it. We'll just talk about them anyway. Hold on, let me close it. We'll just talk about them anyway. Hold on, let me close it. We'll just talk about them anyway. Hold on, let me close it. Hold on. Okay, I think we got it now. This is the Resilient Jenkins. The Resilient Jenkins. Now, if you guys aren't aware of them, they came to viralness because of their lifestyle. Now, first of all, they are not married. That's first off. They live in a 1-bedroom apartment that was his apartment that he got for him and his son only. She was not part of the equation at the time. She showed up with a few children, and they've been living in this 1-bedroom subsidized apartment ever since. Now, a lot of people were upset that they were in the bedroom and the kids were sleeping in the kitchen, in the living room, on the floor, no beds. And they claimed that they didn't get them beds because the kids were destructive. I don't care how destructive my kid was. He had a bed to sleep in. Now, I found out some things because they are now claiming that they're being evicted. Now, you could be evicted for any number of reasons in this circumstance. A, he got people living there that are not on the lease. B, there are too many people living there. C, instead of paying their bill, they were buying everything else. There's many reasons why they could be getting evicted. Stop saying it was TikTok. It wasn't. Or I should say, it wasn't anybody on TikTok. It is you, your behavior that has caused this, not the people on TikTok bringing awareness to your situation. So let me give you a little bit of background that I have recently learned. Stephanie here, she's still married to a man that's in prison. At 16 years old, this man essayed his mother. I believe he raped his mother. He also essayed a child. All before they got married. She then married him. No, this is her actual husband, not Andrew. Andrew is not her husband. He's her baby daddy. Her first and only husband, who's in prison right now. Not Jenkins. This is someone prior to him. I believe it might even be the father to her children, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. After they got married, he essayed another child, which is why he's in prison now. How desperate can you be? Please like the live right now because we're talking about some spicy subjects. How desperate for a man do you have to be with a man that essayed and raped his own mother at 16 years old? His own mother. He should have been castrated. He should have been castrated. 16 years old, raping your own mother, he should have been castrated. He should never be able to enjoy the pleasure of a woman again. I stand 10 toes down on that statement. Then he did it to 2 children after that. Why isn't he? Medically castrate his ass. I'm not even asking you to cut it off. Medically castrate him. What's prison going to do? Because he'll get out and do what? Right. He need to be under the jail. So she moves on from that relationship. They're still married, by the way. Why haven't you gotten a divorce? Don't tell me it's not because of the money. Don't want to hear it. So now you're in a relationship with Mr. Jenkins, who believes that he doesn't need to work a job because it's like slave labor and they don't pay enough. But when he came into this relationship, he had a child. That child's mother was getting child support, but she says that her last child support check was 5 cents. But you're the best father on the planet. You, Stephanie, thought that it was cool to post a picture of his child that he has with his baby's mother. Not the only baby, by the way, there's another one. But you posted a child photo and said, she talks about how African genes are stronger. When I tell you, as a black person, that pisses me off. What do you mean? And in her warped mind, she thinks she's making a compliment. No, you're going back to slave era thinking that we don't feel pain, that we can be worked to the point of death because that's what we were made for, that we have stronger genes, so that means we have stronger countenance. Save it. Save it. But she talks about how this little boy's mother had an alcohol problem while she was pregnant, and she praises her man's superior genes that he's not worse off. First of all, how dare you put this baby's picture out with that commentary to praise your man's genes and talk about this woman as if you are Mother of the Year? It is racist to talk like that. And of course, she'll say, I'm not racist. I'm sleeping with a black man and having his kids. That means nothing. Slave owners were raping female slaves up and down this country. My mother's grandmother was raped by her slave owner. And that is how we explain my mother's European history. So don't tell me that you can't be racist and sleep with a black person. Y'all could save that. They already have at least 4 to 5 children sleeping on a floor while they're in the bedroom smoking trees all the time, not a little bit, as if closing the door prevents the smoke from eking out into the room. To the point where when you found out you were pregnant, you had to detox yourself off of it, which means in the beginning of your pregnancy, you were still using. But you're a better mother than the one who was drinking during her pregnancy. Again, miss me with the BS. In this tiny apartment, now I have 2 cats. In their tiny apartment, they have 2 cats and all of these children. They were upset about the smell of the litter box. And let me tell you, when White Sox goes, it is like a grown man has gone in the bathroom. Let me be clear about that. I am seriously thinking about training them to use the toilet because I don't even use regular litter. I use pellets and it's still bad. What did they decide to do? Use essential oils. Do you know peppermint essential oil can kill cats? Unalive cats, whatever you want to say. They were putting it in the litter box. You didn't do no research? None? But you're mother of the year. Okay. You are in a 1 bedroom apartment and purposely got pregnant again. You have had Amazon wish lists paid for multiple times. You claimed that he went out and worked hard to get your daughter the shoes that she wanted when we saw that it came during one of your Amazon wish list gifts. But you so badly wanted to give him praise for something he didn't even do. And again, you think people are stupid. And some people didn't realize it. They were like, oh my goodness, that's so good of him. And blah, blah, blah. He didn't do it. Y'all did. Then when they got money, she went on a showing off mission because that's what she does and showed all of the things that she got. Why don't you take the money that you get and give it to the kids? No, she wants her TikTok following to buy everything for the kids. And if they're not buying it, the kids aren't getting it. Showing off some storage containers her man bought. Girl, bye. Buy the shoes, get a job, pay your child support, which, by the way, his baby mama took him back to court, and he's going to have to say all about their TikTok donations. And he's probably going to be like, those aren't mine, those are his. It's in your household, sir. You are living in a household that receives funds from TikTok. So now they claim that they're going to be evicted. And what's everybody saying? Wait for the GoFundMe. Do you know how many times they've gotten a GoFundMe or they've raised money to move and then didn't move? It's crazy because HBO, y'all know I love TV. No, he's not locked up. No, they're still together. Her husband is locked up. This isn't her husband. This is her boyfriend that she has kids with. Her husband is locked up. There's a documentary about a very famous YouTuber. She started, I think they said in like 2015, and she was like the first one to use getting pregnant and having a family life and like blowing up on YouTube. Since then, there have been 50 million family content channels. YouTube actually had to put a crackdown on it. Do you know the highest paid person on TikTok was a little boy that played with toys? And his family had to throw the channel away because the government decided that that's exploitation of a child. That even though he was playing with toys, he was obligated to for the YouTube channel that was making his family $30 million. And YouTube said, no more. No more. You're not allowed to use your kids. Well, all I know is the woman who did this, and I can't remember her name. She was one of the first to get brand deals, and that's where the real money came from. And then her husband got his own channel. Well, something went down and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it went completely left. I'm waiting for the next episode. It's HBO. Don't ask me the name of it. I wait a minute. I do know the name of it. I'm waiting for the next episode. It's HBO. Don't ask me the name of it. I wait a minute. I do know the name of it. I'm waiting for the next episode. It's HBO. Don't ask me the name of it. I wait a minute. I do know the name of it. I'm waiting for the next episode. It's HBO. Don't ask me the name of it. I wait a minute. I do know the name of it. It's called An Update on Our Family. That's the documentary. Only one episode has come out yet. It's Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on HBO. It's called An Update on Our Family. And it highlights how destructive these family channels can be on the children and the family structure. Remember the one who had a friend and they were talking about how to properly raise children, and they were locking the children up and not feeding them. They would only clothe and feed them when they were available or when they wanted them to be on camera. Her and her friend are now locked up. So miss me with the you show perfect and we're supposed to believe that that's the everyday lifestyle of the children. I bet it was expensive. And now he has his own show somewhere, the little boy does. But they had to do something because YouTube said the feds have said no, and now we have said no. If you have a children driven channel, it is no longer monetizable on YouTube. This is the Resilient Jenkins. And while they are not traditional beggars and scammers, they've been scamming the system for months. Living in a 1-bedroom apartment with all them children, and now she's pregnant again. Child actors, there are laws around child actors, how long they can record in a day, um, the fact that they have to have some sort of a school structure. There are laws around it, and that is what made the feds come in and clock YouTube. Because YouTube had no control over finding no control over those aspects. It was how much the parents wanted them on camera. So they demonetized all of those channels. Yeah. Well, see, they gotta move. Just expect for GoFundMe to pop up. Mind you, I haven't seen any papers saying they were being evicted, but they have done this money grab in the past. You don't have money, but he has a brand new PS5 and the lights and the gaming chair all in the master bedroom. It's the only bedroom for 5 or 6 or 7 of them. I think his little boy goes back and forth. So sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5. And she is pregnant again. You want to know how I know awareness is winning? Where's Kiki? Where's Chef Carl? Even Lisa has had to calm down. It's working. Yeah, she's pregnant. The baby is like within days. She's already packing her baby bag. Days. She could have the baby today. Hey, we might end early. And let me just tell you this. One of the reasons why we will probably end early is because so many of them. Oh, I got a couple more. I'm lying. I'm lying. Yeah, haven't seen Jordan Paul much either. Exactly. Okay, I got a couple more. Detroit Nike. He hasn't stopped. But some of the things that he has said lately are flabbergasting because I can't believe he's still getting money after he has said these things. Mm. First of all, people were in his live, and they did it in Kim's live too, where they were like, TikTok has been saved. It's getting another 275 days. I haven't seen that actually go into effect. It might be, it might not be. I'm waiting on the Supreme Court's ruling today. And again, I don't care whether Biden or Trump fix it. I also, for some of these scammers, wish it would go away, but they're just going to go to another app. Like I'm going to go to another app. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing because they're not going to stop what they're doing. They're just going to go to another app. In fact, Kim said something about going to Bigo. Girl, Bigo is not for you. I downloaded Bigo because there were some people I wanted to see. Bigo is not for me. Bigo is for young people. Oh, my TikTok husband came. Thank you. CJ's my TikTok husband, yo. He be trying to tell me what to do. He don't understand. He gotta understand. He has a black TikTok wife. We're gonna have to get him together. Yeah, Bigo is wild. It's wild. I just went on ahead and said that's not for my age brackets. I need to find somewhere else to be because Bigo ain't it. I might go to favorited, but the other day they told me about so many others. I'm like confused. It looks like it may be favorited to me. So I have favorited Clapper, Instagram, Twitter, I still got to do Facebook, and there's another one, Real Life, that I guess is supposed to be like TikTok. It's another Chinese, or I should say it is a Chinese app. TikTok was actually created by someone from Singapore, but again, neither here nor there. I probably will do favorite it, at least in the beginning. Yeah, Clapper is wild too. And some of these apps, some of the reasons why people are going to these apps, because they don't have all of the strict, like you don't have to say unalive. It's so funny because in my real life, I talk like I'm on TikTok. I'm like, he unalived himself. And then I'm like, what? Or he pew pewed. And when I do it, I realize how stupid it sounds, but you get used to doing that because you have to do it on TikTok. I am now using TikTok language in real life. It's crazy. But anyway, back to Detroit Nike, who I think is a hot mess, who has already said that this is a social experiment. He was on the other day, and he actually says, when people are like, oh no, it's another 200 days, he was like, oh, that's practically a year. And people were like, that's not a year. I'm like, semantics, people. But he was like, oh, I thought I was going to have to get a job now. What? And people were kikiing and laughing and like, yes, what? So he is capable. He has the ability. He just chooses not to. Do you know how much money this man must be getting off TikTok? It is not just the little bit of gifts we see and hear. Now, he was also in the room with another man. Now, if anybody has been following Detroit Nike for any period of time, we all know he's gay. Nobody cares. Your life, your choice. Love is love. Whatever you want to say. Nobody cares. But guess what he tried to use? When racism didn't work. Because remember, he tried to say that that's why the awareness community was coming after him, was because of racism. And then when I heard that, that activated me. Sir, no. We're embarrassed by you as a community. If you know, there's always those jokes where you could trade cards and be like, well, we'll take this, we'll give Detroit Nike away. You don't even have to give us nobody for him. You can have him. Anybody who wants him can have him. The black community bows out. We are embarrassed. Now it's that people aren't gifting him because he's gay, because he has his partner in the room. No, maybe people are like, wait a minute, I'm paying for you and your man? Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But now the chat is homophobic. The chat is homophobic because most of his supporters are women, and he thinks they were supporting him because they thought they had a chance with him. And now that he has his partner in the room and they know there's no shot, they don't want to give him money anymore. How do y'all make this up? White Sox, what do you have to say? Because you're in my face. What do you have to say, buddy? Oh, you want to go to sleep? Then lay down. You don't? Okay. He wants me to rub on him. He said when they found out they didn't have a chance with him, they cut him off. He wanted the room paid and food for the two of them. Then he let a couple people in the live just so that he knew that people would question his decisions. He cursed them out. Ahmad dropped them, probably muted and blocked them. Then he let another person up, and then someone came up and was like, I support you," and blah blah blah. That person was okay. I got somebody in the box. I don't know who this is. Right. Two young men who refused to work. Good morning.
Good morning. Did you see the other day when he doxed that woman?
I didn't see it, but I heard it. Tell me about it.
I missed what she had said, but it was somebody was saying, "Oh, that sounds pretty racist." So he got searching and found her number, pinned it, and then told everybody to call it. And people were calling it.
That should be a crime.
Well, I reported it, but I
Good.
mean,
Good.
that was pretty bad, and people
That's
were
really
laughing
bad.
about it.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be reported. He should lose his channel. He should lose the ability to get gifts. His Cash App has already been taken down multiple times, which is why he won't use it any longer. He's deplorable.
Yeah.
He's deplorable. He doesn't care about anybody else. And he says it. And for some reason, people respond. Like, I'm sure, again, his sycophants love stuff like that. But they never take 2 seconds to think, what if that happened to me? What if in the awareness community we started doxing all of the mods? They would have a fit. But it's okay for him to dock somebody who criticized him.
Exactly. That poor woman, like, yeah.
I hope she just changed her number real quick. But understand that changing your number has all kinds of ramifications.
Yeah, and this thing with his boyfriend, um, yeah, people are saying, we don't want to help for two people, two grown men that, can work. And then somebody asked him if his boyfriend was homeless, and he said no.
That's the apartment that they're in, probably. That's what I was thinking. I was like, that apartment that he showed, that's probably their apartment.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. But all that money he raised to get a deposit for that apartment, for an apartment, the other day people were asking about it, and he said, "Oh, we were refused or rejected." And then about 10 minutes later, he says, "Yeah, we get the keys tomorrow." So it's like, which one is it?
My thing is this: y'all are in his live every day, listening to every word he says, and y'all haven't figured it out yet. I classify you as being willfully ignorant,
Yeah,
because there's no way you can hear the same thing I hear and think it makes sense. It can't possibly make sense to grown people who go to work every day. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't care if I was rich. And let's be clear. The rich are not on here giving money. And you want to know how I know that? Because Jeffree Star is on here making thousands of dollars a day. I ain't never seen him give anybody money. I saw Spencer Pratt up here yesterday. I was like, a block? I didn't like you when you were on reality TV. I am damn sure not going to watch you on TikTok. Do you know how many people on TV are on TikTok now because they realize this is practically free money. All they got to do is sit in their house and be like, "Hey, such and such, congratulations. Thank you for being here." And they make sure they shout out every name, every gift. Why? Because they want you to feel special in their lives so that you'll continue to give.
That's right. So
But
then
they
the other
are,
day,
or they will gift other creators so that the money stays between them. But how come Adrielle isn't live and some of these people who need the money and helping them get gifts? The only thing she did of any kindness recently was, I'm gonna follow everybody that follows me on favorited.
yeah,
What?
I heard that.
Girl, that's not helping anybody but you. Just like the battles, in my opinion, even though they are sanctioned by TikTok, the battles are just begging. Come on, guys, we gotta win. We gotta win. Whether they win or lose, they make money on all of the gifts. What did you win? What did you win? White Sox, you are getting on my nerves now. Find somewhere to go.
Yeah, so I'm just like everybody else and sits there and watches Detroit. I don't say a word.
You can't.
No, you can't. So I was on your live last week or whatever, and I told you I send videos to people who are thinking about giving money to this guy.
Yeah, yeah. I do remember
And
that.
I sent a video to one lady, and she was just about to donate $10 to Detroit, saw my videos, and totally thanked me afterwards.
You're
Like,
doing
that is
good
such
work,
a good
man.
feeling. I can't even tell you.
You're
I
doing
stopped,
good work.
and then now, I think it was the last 2 days. I mean, there was 300 people in there,
Yep.
and he got his mods to just start blocking people.
Oh yes, that's the new thing. I actually wrote that down. That's the new thing all of them are doing. If you're not liking the live, gifting the live, we're gonna start blocking you. So
Yeah.
what does that happen? People start liking the live because they don't want to get blocked. They're all doing that threat. And
So
they
I
do it
got
to a couple people and everybody gets scared. I
Yeah,
be
so
like
I
one
got
like
out of there, but you can still watch
from the outside.
without being in there.
Right.
You just can't see the comments.
I call it window washing. I don't know what everybody else calls it. I call it window watching.
Yeah,
Watch from the outside. How you
yeah,
do that, you search for the person. I usually click the live button if they don't come up right away. And if they're live on the account you searched for, it'll be right there.
yeah, that's right.
But if you, I say do that if you can't help yourself from commenting, because there was a time when I had to say it, like I could, especially for certain people like Amanda, I could not keep my mouth shut.
I
So
know
I
it's
had to start
hard.
watching from the outside because I was getting blocked on every account I had because I couldn't stop my mouth. But notice she isn't around right now. She'll be back, or she's gonna move on to another app.
Yeah.
But Amanda's not done because she's not gonna get a job. The only thing I think that happened positive is she was able to get away from Frank for a little bit.
And then yesterday, too, Detroit was saying that there was only one mod. I think her name was Sarah. And only the one mod was blocking people, and he told all the other mods they could get lost too. So, it'd be nice to get a mod that's pissed off at him and comes onto one of your lives and spills the beans.
Oh, I would love it. If anybody has any connection with any mods of anybody, they are welcome in. Because I'm fascinated. I would love to hear why.
And he admitted yesterday too that he's never down to zero. He's always got some money,
That boy
to pay
has
for the
more money
room.
than people who work full time. He wouldn't keep doing it if he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wouldn't. He
Because
wouldn't keep doing it.
he went and paid for his room, and he was still asking for $60 more, but he
Yeah.
still paid for the room.
And my thing is this: people on live watched him rip off DoorDash and restaurants 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Do you not have a moral compass? But again, if it was your restaurant he was stealing from, would you think it was cute? If you were the Door Dasher that might have gotten money taken out of their check because he said he didn't get everything, if you were the Door Dasher, would you appreciate that? If you own DoorDash, would you appreciate that? But y'all think, Kiki, oh, it's funny. It's funny. Look at what he's doing. It's illegal what he was doing.
Exactly.
You don't have a moral compass. You feel like anybody who's taking advantage of other people, that's fine because they can. What if it was your grandmother, your aunt, your mom, your dad, but you don't care?
Yeah. And then, I mean, him asking, now that everybody knows his boyfriend was in the hotel with him those few days, and then he's asking for money for food for him and his boyfriend. Well, people aren't going to give him money like to support the boyfriend too.
Right. And he even said something like, y'all already give me enough to feed the both of us, so I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah.
You are the problem. If you weren't sure, sir, you are the problem. And while people may have had empathy for you, which I don't understand how, they're not. Why would they? But you want to know what I think it is? I think he's watching. There's lots of couples on here. Like, what is her name? Carney in Asia or something like that, where they claim that they sleep in their car. And I saw a video of them where they were like, at 12 o'clock and 5 in the morning, it gets cold, but we turn the car on at night and blah, blah, blah. Someone was saying that when they went to pay for their hotel room, they weren't in like a $40 a night motel. They were in a luxury hotel, but you want to cry about being in the car. Both of them able bodied, both of them young. Why can't one or both of you get a job and get a place? When did being homeless be the flex? If I was homeless, I'd be embarrassed. And they're using it like a flex. Like, yeah, Carne in Asia, or what, however you say her name, and then they have a nerve to have a dog. Why do all of them have a pet? You don't have a pot to piss in or a penny to spend on food, but you have a pet. Make it make sense.
Yeah. There's a new one that you should look up too. Her name is Amy, Amie,
Uh huh.
and she's just new too.
Okay. Do you know what her account name is? Is it just Amy?
Yep.
Okay.
So what she was doing, she was crying and needed a motel room, and she started telling her story that her husband passed away and she got $300,000 from his life insurance, and then her brother and sister-in-law took it all and took her house, and that's why she's homeless, and she sits in her car, and says she's very spiritual,
Of
and
course.
then she said, and spirit's telling me that I shouldn't work. Like, why would you say that?
What?
Yeah.
What they are relying on are people who have a spiritual connection and it sounds good. But again, anybody who has read the Bible knows the expectation of people who are quote unquote spiritual. We all know that that is BS. Amy, you know who else? I do I have her picture? Let me see, because she reminds me of this girl. I think I have her picture. I just gotta find it. Do I have it? Oh, there she go. Nope, wrong one. Child, wrong one. KK Smith.
Oh, yeah, I've seen her too before.
She really doesn't talk on the live. She just sits there in the thing. It'll say what she wants, what she needs to keep a place. And her hair is always done to perfection. Just like Jordan, Paul, and Kat have great lineups, haircuts, but they don't have two pennies to rub together. KK Smith uses what she considers to be her beauty and silence to get money out of people. Check her out. Check her out. I sometimes leave her lives because there's nothing there.
Yeah, they don't talk or anything.
Right. And y'all notice when Walker is away, Miss Gypsy herself, she claims that she's in the hospital too now. But I haven't seen her go live in a minute. But now she's hospitalized. For what? Stress that you didn't get any money?
So this Amy, she was saying that people gave her money enough for an Airbnb for 3 nights, and she was totally stressed out because she's going, do I only get it for 2 nights so I can eat? Like, yeah, you got to check her out. It's
Oh, I
bizarre.
will. Again, though, if you are homeless, go get food stamps. If you, and I say this all the time, if you qualify for something, go get it. We've been paying taxes to the federal government to cover these things. Go get it. But don't come on here and act like there's no food pantries.
Yeah.
There's no food stamps. If you can't get it, there's a reason. So then your
Well,
solution to that is to come to TikTok and beg.
well, when I first saw this Amy, I genuinely felt bad for her because she just seemed like a normal, down to earth person. But the more I watched, it's like, okay, how does your brother take $300,000 and your house? Like,
Right.
just
And it,
makes
it has
sense.
happened, but your first response to that is to come to TikTok and beg, like, no, I don't buy it.
Yeah,
But I tell anybody, because there are some sympathetic people on here who need and deserve the assistance, right? I
yeah,
tell everybody, watch them for a week at least,
yeah.
because they usually reveal themselves pretty quickly. Yes, you missed the party. I'm about to end things 15 minutes early. I'm trying to stick to the schedule 6:30 to 9:30, because sometimes I've been on here till 12 o'clock. But I appreciate because some of our old goodies are going away. Thank the gods. We got to find the new ones. So, Karen, I appreciate you telling me about Amy. If
Yeah.
anybody comes across anybody else that is new, please send it to me because I am not on TikTok 24/7. I appreciate everybody for being here. Karen, I appreciate you. You were my only guest this live. I guess I did too much talking on my own. I didn't talk for 3 hours.
I just
Uh,
I like coming up when you bring up Detroit because he's, oh man.
one of the worst. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. When he tried racism, that pissed me off, and now was homophobic. Boy,
Yeah.
guy, go sit down somewhere. I think I'm gonna go to favorited guys, and I might actually take a page out of Adriel's book and go live on both. Oh, thank you, Antique Paradise. I appreciate it. It's not all me though. It's definitely a community of people making it happen. Send me anybody. I am almost at the follow of everybody. I think I'm up to January the 3rd. Sometimes it lets me follow 60, sometimes it's 20, but I'm getting through it all. I am Digital Deceiver Shadow everywhere. If you can't find it written out as Digital Deceiver Shadow, it might be DIGDEC Shadow. But find me everywhere.
Yeah, we'll be looking for you.
Okay, everybody have a wonderful day.
You
Hug your
too.
loved ones. Tomorrow isn't promised. And let's hit these TikTok streets to find these scammers so we can get them out of here. It's working. Awareness always wins.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you too.